a copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Sunday, we're at the shop. Yeah, we're going to go live a little bit, have some updates, and let's read a couple Bigfoot reports online, see what that's all about. I think I might have missed one the last stream. Did I do the Louisiana report? I don't remember reading it. Silent intro. We're going to pull up our monitor here, so we're dropping our intro silently like we have been doing. And hopefully I remember everything I want to mention today. All right, we got the monitor pulled up. I see Juliana McGill. Happy rising to you. Well, it's 1 p.m. Good afternoon at this point. We survived the rising. Good afternoon, Dragonfly. What up, Mikey? What's up, Amanda? Cool. Y'all are being notified. Right on. Yeah, we're at the shop. We're gonna read some new reports online off the Bigfoot mapping project, as we usually do. That's kind of our one of our pushes here. You know, Speed Chases also will push us to go live. But yeah, there's some new reports added, and I think I missed one last stream. I titled it Louisiana Bigfoot Report. There was like a news article with it. Here we go. Heads up, my mug's gonna pop up. 3, 2, 1. Where is he? Boom. Kaboom. What is up, fam? What is up, peeps? What other words do we use? What's up, my ninjas? We got Roger in the house. How was everyone's weekend? Hopefully good. It's been cray-cray all over the place. But hopefully you're enjoying life, and we're going to hopefully enjoy a few minutes here and get these reports going. How's it up in NorCal there, Juliana? I guess Amanda, you could squeeze in there. There's debates about if that's NorCal or not. Anything above LA County for us here is NorCal, but you know, Juliana likes to get technical. So do I. All right, so we're going to just go ahead and get started with this. Y'all do your thing in the chat. I'm not going to wait for anyone to respond in the chat because we'll be sitting here. I'll have to hit the Jeopardy music. Boom. All right, we're going to pull up the Bigfoot mapping project here, adjust our windows. I don't know. Which one do you like? I like, can't see the map on that one. There's this one like that. And then that one. I like the circle. So we're going to do the circle. And we are on duty. Let's see. Do I have a customer? It's been slow this morning. I haven't had any customers this morning. Yeah. What's up with that? Where's everybody at? Why? Starting to get a little worried. Usually by this time I'd have Mendocino County line. All right, Mendo, that's where the true north starts. Don't be offended at anyone else if you're under that. That's funny, Juliana. Yeah, and I was checking out that video you sent, all the videos you've sent me, and it was interesting. I got a little sad about the video about up north. It got me excited. Like, I'm ready to go. You know, I've been ready to go. But you were like, yep. You mentioned a certain side of things. I was like, oh, yeah. And I don't take sides either. But, you know, I just rock with the cool folk. If you're cool, we're cool. But, Juliana. Qual Joao. What's up, John? How's Portugal, brother? You need to get me a ticket to Portugal. And John P, we were just mentioning about Northern California. We've talked about this, but Humboldt County has a Portuguese, pretty strong Portuguese community, right? We got the Portuguese Hall we mentioned. What else? Several things that are a lot of them were farmers and stuff that I heard. And yeah, they're all blended into the community now. There's one dude with a big old blue Ram truck that has Portuguese pride all across the front of it. I'd see him zipping around Eureka. But yeah, man, I don't know if you knew that. Found that interesting. I had seen a video recently. Was it on Earth Day? I think it was. Someone did a video on Humboldt. So I learned a little bit more on who that was. His German gentleman. And yeah, a lot of places named after him. Even in Venezuela, we talked about the Humboldt Hotel being on top of Avila Mountain. And when we went a camp up there, yeah, there were signs for the Humboldt Hotel. I was like, what the heck? There's a Humboldt. What's going on here? I thought I was in another country. And we were. And his name is there as well. I know over on the Nevada side of things, just as north as way up in Northern California, like we're talking here. But if you head on over to the Nevada side of things, I think there's a Humboldt. What is it? Humboldt Toyobe National Forest. And there's a Humboldt County there also. What up? Wagwan fireman. Lick a shot for red shot. Yeah, where's my pew pew at? Wild standoff going on in Georgia, where I was just checking out a live stream right now. Dudes popping rounds at the popo. Pew pews at the popo. Watch out. Yeah, and then I guess the person that was streaming, I think she was streaming onto TikTok, and someone on YouTube was streaming her. And then she got word. She's like, someone had sent her a message. They're like, hey, you're all over the news. I don't know if the news was like using some of her feed, but maybe they meant all the other streamers streaming her stream. Streamers streaming her stream. And I think she freaked out and cut the stream there. So there went the live stream of the standoff going on in Georgia. We country discoveries and small. Yeah. You didn't discover them, bro. Not all of them. I'll fight you for that one. But yes, no, the Portuguese definitely got around. You guys love the oceans. That's for sure. And yeah, I don't know what it is, dude, but I'm fascinated by the language. And I've been putting in a lot of hours, Joao. That's how you say John in Portuguese. Joao. A lot of hours into but Brazilian Portuguese, bro. Você sabe, cara. The Brazilian Portuguese. I'd like to learn the Portugal Portuguese. I've seen some Instagrams where they do like funny words that are used in Brazil. Like in Brazil, they mean one thing, like maybe a bad thing, and in Portugal, it means something completely different. Yeah, those are pretty hilarious. And I seen some where some Brazilians are doing like Spanish words, and some are Mexican. I seen one last night with Mexican words, and she was showing the similarities to certain Brazilian Portuguese words and stuff. She was having a good time with it. Oh yeah, Gustavo, abraço, brother. Hugs, abraço. Spanish lessons with Bigfoot Dwarf. All right. And you could get your Portuguese on with me too. Come on, John. When we're gonna do a whole full-on Portuguese show, brother? I'm up for the challenge. Let me know. And speaking of shows, so we got a show set for tomorrow, folks. This is super exciting. Yeah, the homie Tristan, my ninja Tristan, Kaiju Ninja. Some of you may know him as on YouTube. from Washington State. Yes. Yeah, we've been chatting. We were setting everything up. I even got a little bio that I'm going to read this time. I didn't get one for brother finding the trackway, but yay, that was a great show. And hopefully we get to, you know, make it more than an hour. And so the plan is usually on Mondays, I'm off from the shop. So I could have done this from the pad, the lily pad, the frog pad. But I'm going to do it here because the internet over there has been, it's been weird. It's been dropping only on the laptop. My phone doesn't have issues, but when I pull up the laptop at the crib now, at my house, at the house, um, it's been dropping for some reason. So I'm like, I'm not going to take any chances. I'm going to come in on the day off and we're going to do the show from the shop. So 4 p.m. I was gonna do it 4:20, but no, I was like, 4. We'll do it at 4, and then yeah, we could cruise on into 4:20 and beyond. Job willing. So mark your calendars. I did set up a live stream, but that is not going to be the stream, folks, because I'm going to be streaming on multiple platforms, and I'm going to be using Riverside. I just set up a stream so people could get the heads up, and I shared it with a notification that that will not be the stream. So just know that at 4 o'clock we should be going live. Check for a video. It's not going to be that post that we made, and hopefully y'all got the post out there. You got the thumbnail ready. Got Tristan on there holding a Bigfoot cast that he probably found and made himself. Yes, tangible evidence. I love it. And I know he's got some audio clips that hopefully we'll get to hear. I think some of the best audio I've ever heard out there. Is it Bigfoot? I don't know, but he's in Washington, so it probably is. And I'm super excited for that. And let's see what else is going on. All right. Super overcast outside. And yeah, it's not only a marine layer, it's, the pollution and you name it. So it's thick out there. That's our weather report. I've been pulling up the weather lately, but let's get into these Bigfoot reports since we're talking about the hairy creature. Let's get into it. All right. We're going to drop the squatch, and it looks like we got a fresh report right on the border. A lot of these reports have been on the border. So is Bigfoot like hopping states? What's going on? Let's see here. Very close to the Mexican border as well. As you can see there, there's El Paso, the step. Or it could be translated into something else. And look, we got a green squatch right above this fresh new report there. And it looks like it's on the New Mexico side of things. Carlsbad Caverns National Park. Ooh, not too far away. That's a plus. I put that in my notes. Got a national park on this one. Got the giant pencil out. And yeah, get ready for some reading here. Heads up. I should have warmed the motor up here. All right, date and time of sighting 6/17/2024, 11:40 p.m. We got a height of 8 feet on this one. No sex in the champagne room. No vocalization either. And they typed it nice and big too, so I shouldn't fumble. If I do fumble, it's because your boy needs some more practice reading. But just in case, we'll zoom this up, and then we'll drop the squatch a little more just to get an idea of the area. So my wife and I were coming from Ruidoso, New Mexico, after being evacuated from a forest fire in Ruidoso. Haven't heard of that place. They had just shut down the major interstate for us to get home, so we had to take a different route. Just leaving Carlsbad, New Mexico, and entering White City. Sounds dangerous. There's several white cities out there. Let's see here. Where'd I go? I'm zooming out again because I can't scroll once I zoom. So heads up when you're using the map. I'm giving you all the little hiccups and even little hacks on the map here in case you're checking it out. So just leaving Carlsbad, New Mexico, and entering White City and nearing the Guadalupe Mountain National Park, I was driving our truck pulling the fifth wheel, and I noticed something in the road several feet ahead on the driver's, and it just period. So maybe driver's side. I engaged my high beams to get a better look and noticed this large black figure in the road and darted across. Gauging its size, it had to be large because I drive a 3,508 foot. Okay, so a 3,500, let's see. And then in parentheses, it says 8 foot, shoulders were wide, maybe 4 feet, and its body was larger than my hood. So a 3,500, is that a Ford? As I was, or as I followed it with my eyes, I noticed my wife in the passenger seat. She also had seen that I saw because I saw her looking at it when she then rolled down the passenger window and looked out at it. The black figure disappeared in the night. We drove for about 15 minutes and turned to my wife and asked what that was. We were both in disbelief. I have over 20 years of law enforcement experience and currently still work as a police officer in New Mexico. We have no idea what we saw that night in Eddy County, New Mexico. Ooh. Was it a squatch? I think so. It says black here. Yeah, because he did report it to a Bigfoot website. And I wonder if he made a police report of it. You know, that could get him in trouble, right? It'll be like, bro. So maybe he had to keep it low key and report it to one of these websites. I wonder, it'd be interesting to look into maybe a police report of some sort. Could he have wifey do it and not get in trouble? Again, there's a green squatch right above it. So Carlsbad, New Mexico, current Argus quoting, Miss 1975 Eddy City, Carlsbad. And it looks like there is some sort of report. So Mr. and Mrs. So this is a throwback. Let's see. It doesn't 1975. Mr. and Mrs. Steve Austin were camping near Sitting Bull Falls in the Guadalupe Mountains when their dogs started acting strange at night. She heard footsteps and woke her husband, who later told her he saw an animal he at first took for a bear, waving it. So yeah, west southwest, and there's a distance of 30. I don't know what there. Elevation 50 there. Some information there. Campsite. November 22nd, 1994 was the entry date. Yeah, this is definitely a throwback. And it says one large, sex unknown. Just checking this out. We haven't really read these green Bigfoot reports before, so it's interesting. And then over in Carlsbad, there is another green squatch there. So interesting. Putting that in the notes. And yeah, see, so stuff like this, once again, it's not too far from Mexico. So I would imagine just like it could hop over either to Texas or New Mexico or Mexico, right? So there's got to be some Bigfoot reports in Mexico, I would imagine. Wow. So let's get this Louisiana report in. And what's up, Digger Dog? Good to see you. Good afternoon to you as well. Getting these Bigfoot reports read. Give me 1 second. I got somebody in here. Whoop whoop. All right, first customer of the day. Jeez. Thank goodness. I was starting to worry there for a second. Thank you, Lord. All right, here we go. So yeah, let's head on over to Louisiana because I don't think I read this report the other night. And in case I did, we're gonna just redo it. We're gonna cover some other reports that have been added that I thought I pre-recorded some. I pre-recorded. I pre-recorded a little video reading some of the reports. We touched on that on the last live stream, and I might have to do that again because I think there might be some other reports that I don't know, we might have missed. I think I noticed one double up, talked about the double ups, and yeah, so this one out of Louisiana. And you know what? I didn't drop the Squatch a little further over here, like I said. Let's see if any other details come up here. I do see a huge road. Again, going back to the previous report, National Parks Highway. So right on the National Park Highway. Wow. All right. Okay, Louisiana, we got you. But we did read the previous Bigfoot report off the BFRO. And again, we got to say our disclaimer at any time we mentioned that site. I did check out Eric's video earlier today, Harryman Road. I shared that in the post. And you know, Eric is doing his thing. So, you know, hey. And you know, those topics have come up before, the different shows, and you know, and they've even, some of the people on the show have talked about it and given their, you know, words and stuff. So, and I get it, man. And yes, follow the money on any topic, and it'll lead you to some interesting information and things, right? So yeah. So again, 7-Eleven's 2016, 9:47 p.m. Yeah, 6'8". They got those 8 inches in. And it says, yes, first of all, this all happened before that store was on the corner. And the night it happened, I was riding around with 2 people on a fugitive recovery scouting trip to go get some info on the job. Sounds like law enforcement or some sort of private let's see. And so they're getting info on the job, and before getting to the corner of Elliott and Tank Farm Road, seen something within the headlights bottom half of the torso was illuminated. The top portion had a silhouette of a street lamp down the way and clear the road in 2 steps, in jump over a ditch in a 4-foot fence. And I'm just reading it as it is. So that's what it sounded like to me, or that's how I'm reading it. So heads up, you know, sometimes these reports come in like that. The punctuation or spelling might be a little crazy. And then you add my reading on top of that. So jumped over a ditch in a 4-foot fence at the same time and cleared that and ended up into a cow pasture. While this is all going on, in a 2-second flash, I hit the brakes and asked everybody in the vehicle, did y'all see that? And they describe it as a dark red brown on this one. So that's 7/11/2016. And let's drop the Squatch on this one. Again, Louisiana. I see a Lake Charles not too far up from there. Prien, one of the towns that pop up there, dropping it a little further. And you can see a pretty decent sized town here. Perfect square. Look at that. And there are the roads there. So again, I don't know what town exactly this is. Did it say in the report? If it did, I forgot it, but I would say Prien. It's pretty nearby. And there it is. So hopefully we did read this on the last stream, but if not, there it is. But what we did do is we read that BFRO report from Louisiana, which is the latest one, and we found a news article to go along with it. So that we did cover, and we're going to switch our. Here we go. Boom. Switching our overlay there. And let's see. Somebody in the chat. Joseph, what's going on, man? And again, Lori Ladd, welcome on in. Sharon, cheers to you. Good to see you. Hope you're enjoying the weekend. And we're going to take a little scan around. So there's this report here. So Kansas looks like, oof. So it's in Kansas, not Kansas City, close to Kansas City. And I've learned the difference. Yes, as, yeah, we had fam out that way. I think we might own a church or something out there, an abandoned church. Who knows? I got to find out about that. But we're going to go ahead and click this report. And this is a new one. Uh-oh, we clicked the diamond. This is a new one, but it's just not fully lit green for whatever reason. We've been taking note of that as well. Not all new reports end up like blazing green for some reason. Sometimes they'll get this orange and this greenish hue as I describe around it. So here we go. It's not pulling up the report. 1 second. And there it is. So this is 5/1/26. Yeah. Recent. 10:34 p.m. No height, no sex on this creature, but it did vocalize. And it says, myself and a Boy Scout were standing outside in the middle of the night because he wasn't feeling well and wanted to call his dad. Well, in the middle of our conversation with his dad, we both look over at the woods at the same time and then looked at each other. We both heard it. And an hour later, it's still happening. Creaks, creeps, creaks in still of the night. It sounds like an old door swinging open and closed very slowly. It will happen several times in a row and then stop. It is not in sync with the wind blowing. So I know it's not the wind blowing a branch. And sometimes it's just one-way creak or one-way creak. Like a door or like a door was open. So scary and creepy. No way. I'm leaving this tent again until the morning time. Nope. Oh gosh. 1:43 a.m. as I'm lying or tying this, and I just heard, so it says 1:43 a.m. as I'm tying this, and I am just heard several knocks in a row. So we'll give you the knocks. And it says, get me the heck out of here, please. So again, another tough little read there, but I guess you could make sense out of this one. It looks like they were waiting for this kid's dad. But I don't know. Did the dad ever come and pick him up? What happened? Seems like they ended up camping there the rest of the night. So are these, is that a legit report? It's up to you. All right, we're going to head on over. So I know we've covered all these blue reports. They've turned blue now. They used to be orange. Let's see. Give me 1 second. What's up, man? All right, I got a little somebody in here. Give me 1 second. All right, just making sure if someone needed help over here, camera. All right, all these blue reports we've covered, I want to say. And this Texas one, not sure. I think we touched on this one. So 42826, just in case. Looks like a pretty short one here. We'll go ahead and read this one off. 42826, 4:50 p.m. A 7 foot and 8 inches on this one, and it did vocalize. Says I got no pictures. I started riding down a hill on my four-wheeler, and he was about 20 yards away. He was hitting a tree with a stick. Huh. Yeah, you don't get too many reports. So was it making a wood knock sound? Let's see, did we get wood knocks? Yes. So maybe it was making wood knocking sounds, and we haven't heard that. You know, there's some reports, very few. We all just assume Bigfoot is wood knocking. And with the wood knocking, even that, you know, people have their theories. Oh, they're using their tongue. They're not. I think a power wood knock, they're using wood on wood or rock on wood, something hard to get that Louisville slugger sound. And we're gonna hop on over to, let's see, Ontario, because I believe this is where, let's see, we've been getting a whole lot of reports from lately. And this one says 4:30:26, 5:35 p.m. There's no height description or sex description on this one. I was heading home from the grocery store. I stopped to take some pics of the clouds, which I found interesting. In the pics was the landscape. When I got home, I edited my pics as I normally would do. As I was editing these 5 pics, I found these what looked like Bigfoot in the clouds. I increased the size of the pics to get clearer images I could. I took these pics on my cell phone. Either way, when I could see these looked like ape-like creatures, it made me nervous. The area is farmland right behind my house. I have not seen any creature in the backyard, etc. The creatures in the pics were perhaps 100 to 200 feet away. I did not see them with the naked eye. What I'd like to know is if these pics look authentic or not. I figured I'd post these to see if the pics were considered authentic and if the area would be investigated if needed. Maybe that might help in some way. All right. So there's a second part. Oh, there's 2 more parts to this. We're going to get right to that. Give me 1 second. I got a customer here. What's up, bro? All right. All right. Y'all still there? Whew. Multitasking. Let me tell you, not easy. All right. So I'm going to continue reading this report here. Hopefully, y'all were chopping it up in the chat. And it says so, and make sure I'm not muted here. I last week posted about a sighting I had decades ago. I realized that my posts and pics here may be considered a coincidence. Anyways, I haven't gone out to the area to see if anything else was there. Shortly after I got home, it began to rain a bit and it got dark. It was about 8 p.m. when I took the pics. The weather was cloudy, but towards the east was sunny. It also was chilly outside. Again, in regards to the land, there are lots of forested areas and a few farms around. The land area I took the pics was sold to the real estate developer, but nothing yet has been built. There have been a bunch of Sasquatch sightings here in southern Ontario recently, so maybe there's something near where I live, either hanging around or just passing through. I just haven't told anyone about this latest or shown the pics. I don't want to, or I don't want my name, cell phone number, or the exact area where I took these pics made public. Obviously, the pics can be shown and my story can be revealed. If these pics are proven authentic, this would be my second encounter. If someone could email me and let me know if these pics are considered authentic or not, I'd appreciate that. And they say black here. So yeah, I was dealing with a couple of drunk people right now. Oh my goodness. Yeah. You know how that could go. And thankfully, it's all good. So I'm gonna jump in the chat in a second. There's another report up here, and it's possible that we touched. So I know we didn't read that one. So this one's 5.2. This one down here was 5.1, right? Oh no, 4:30:26. Okay. So this one is 5.2. And that's how it's happening, how it's been happening according to the mapping project here. These reports, if you want to call it an Ontario flap, but it says 5/2/26, 12:23 a.m. 6'7" male, and it did vocalize. Ooh, we got the Dogman growl on that one. Guess Bigfoot could do it also. And it says, I was taking a stroll around Celebration Square walking my dog. I don't usually walk my dog around this time of day, but something was compelling me to do it. As I was walking down the sidewalk, in my peripheral vision, I see it. My dog was barking nonstop and clearly started by the mere sight of this creature. My head slowly turns as I gaze upon his eyes. He stares at me with slight arousal. Whoa. Hey, me? Question mark. I stared back and struck or stared back, struck with fear. Sorry. I'm starting to get struck with fear after that arousal part there. As soon as I realize what I've seen, I tried to make a run for it, but my legs wouldn't work. Wow, I could imagine that happening in a scary moment, or they get really heavy, right? It says legs didn't work. Where'd I go? Lost my place there. So I was frozen with fear. Okay. My legs wouldn't work. I was frozen with fear and piss. Ooh. Bigfoot grinned, then got on all fours, and in the matter of seconds, he took off at speeds incomprehensible for a bipedal creature. I clocked his speed at 60 to 70 kilometers an hour, I guess. And just like that, he was gone, vanished in the darkness. All that was left was a pile of, yeah, where's our sensor? Uh huh. But it was difficult to identify if this came from Bigfoot or a nearby pedestrian. And did you see any young Bigfoot? Yes, without parents. So it could be a bogus report, right? I don't know. And brown fur. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Purple highlights, thinning crown, partial alopecia, vitiligo. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about this one. Just a heads up. We do run into these. And there was a couple that actually are still up in Hawaii. We read the one in Australia. So for the Aussies, for our peeps down under, there's a report there. We touched on this one. 429, 26. And I don't know, they put 67 in the height there. So I don't know if the metrics are different and they just put down the color white with a tint of brown curly hair. And let's see, I think Europe also has, it's Amsterdam that has a report up here. Did read that one. And I think that's about it. We will go ahead and refresh this to see if anything else pops up while we're at it. And then I'll hop into the chat just to chop it up for a minute. Again, tomorrow will 4 p.m. Set your notifications for our show tomorrow. We're gonna have Kaiju Ninja Tristan. I don't know if he wants me to use his last name. I'm gonna actually text him here in a bit, get a little more information and set a few more little things up. But yeah, we are on for Friday. I will be in the shop. Shop will be closed, but we will be in here working. So yeah, no other new reports here on this site. An interesting video that I seen over. Yeah, DP posted this on X, and so there's a video on this channel. Actually, there's a bunch of videos, and the post had some. I don't know. I felt it was kind of funny, but y'all should know who DP is when we mention it. And I believe it's right here. It was a Bigfoot video, and he was commenting. He's like, I don't know who put this up or who these people are, but he found it interesting because they do mention the missing 411 phenomenon, kind of possibly being tied to Bigfoot sighting hotspots or something like that. And it is right here. this video. So it's 22 minutes. So I won't be playing that. But check it out because they use maps and all this other data. But this whole channel seems AI to me. So that's why I was like, I was like, well, yeah, they're using AI for some of the information because they ran AI, all this Bigfoot, all these different types of reports, Bigfoot reports, and they ran it through AI databases. Who knows which ones and how? And the video's interesting. I thought, I watched it, and but this whole channel is AI. So, you know, when I started seeing the video, and I was like, hold on, this whole video looks AI. So again, popped up a little flag for me. I was like, oh, all right, hold on. And of course, the name of the channel is AI Discovery Official. So, or AI Discovery. That was the handle there. So yeah, I recommend it. Check it out if you like to geek out on some of this stuff. I'd rather have a real person talk to me about it. But yeah, I haven't seen any other Bigfoot news popping up today. I will be checking. And yeah, there you have it. I'm glad we were able to get through the reports. And the homies that were drunk, usually, when they're not drunk, we chop it up on a cool level and stuff. But I could see they were just far gone on some whole other level. I don't even like to deal with people when they're like that. And I get it. I've been like that. And so Charmin, aka hashtag Charmin moment, says Juliana. And let's see how doing 50. All right. I think we should push for an hour. 10 more minutes. Let's see. Can we do something here? All right. So I have some pictures I could share. So we had SoCal Sasquatch come to the shop and introduce himself. And man, it was a pleasure. It was a good time. And hopefully we get to link up soon. And he shared some pictures, and I forget the state. And it's I'll give you a little description, and hopefully the picture's loaded up to the laptop. Um, and he said he could elaborate on the details. Maybe I don't know if he's in the chat. And I'm gonna read Juliana's quickly. Let's see. Earthquakes had the Ring of Fire talking last 24 hours. One close to you down there, and me up here by Kovlo. So yeah, Earth shaking. Yeah, there's a new crack on El Capitan on El Cap over at Yosemite National Park. I was checking out a video, and I was chatting with Alan last night. He's up in the Sierras. They had Cryptid 559 on the Cryptid Huntress's channel, and it's always good to hear from those boys up there. I'd like to go check out those areas just because I feel there's lots going on up there, and I'd like to. I have been to Yosemite a couple times. I have been to the Sierras before, but it would be good to spend maybe a week or two out there at least, do some good investigating. So we're gonna pull these pictures up. So I don't know where SoCal Squatcher. I forget what state it was, but he captured an interesting picture, and he said he'd elaborate whenever. And through the chat, I was like, well, does that mean you jump on? I'm trying to get him to jump on a show. I'm like, bro, you don't have to show your face. Maybe you could disguise your voice. We'll see. We're working on that, but I'm excited to have Kaiju Ninja locked in for tomorrow. And let's see. 1 second. I'm gonna have to pull these pictures up. So where are my photos? Over here. And then recently saved. And of course, I didn't. I did not save them. Darn it. All right. So I'll do it oh, here we go. Yeah, we do have them. They just popped up right now. Sweet. Okay, here we go, folks. So I do not know what state this was, but he was out. I'm going to stop sharing this. And we're going to pull up the picture. So he was in a state, I think he was motorcycle riding cross state. And noticed this subject, and it very much, bird came to mind, right? Like a huge bird, but he said he was, I think he was making his way over to it, and at one point he actually stopped because started to really think about it. Like, wait, should I go to this thing? And he said if it was a bird, it must have been 6 feet tall. So if you notice right there on the rocks, there's a black subject there. And if you zoom in on it, don't forget, some of you could zoom in on YouTube. It almost has like a little pointy head to it. So, for the Bigfooters, it'd be the conical shaped head. So it does have a conical shaped head. But then the way it's shaped also reminds me of like just a huge bird. So I was like, dude, was it a condor or, but I don't think this was California. But we did mention some of the cryptid birds, the people have been talking last night. They were talking pterodactyls with cryptid 559. But the thunderbirds, what's the other one? Phoenix. Those things came to mind. And yeah, what's up, William Nighthawk? What's going on, man? See, I was lurking in your live earlier. I actually know some of those people you were mentioning earlier today. Anyway, we won't get into that. So yeah, what could it be? So hopefully we'll have SoCal Squatcher maybe tap in on one of the live streams maybe tomorrow. But he did take a second picture, and let's have a look at that. All right, let's pull our pictures up right here. And so this is picture number 2. And the subject is no longer there. So it either flew away, walked away, ran away, or just dissolved away. Who knows? I don't know. What do you think? And I'll pull that other picture back up again. I'll let you zoom in. I do not see the subject anymore. The subject is gone. Again, we'll pull this up again in the future, maybe when SoCal is in the chat, or maybe when he decides to jump on with us here live. But yeah, Lori is always active, bro. Flamethrower. Watch out. She'll make anybody toast. And all right, so we'll pull up again. We'll do the second pick. And I'm glad we survived that interruption earlier from our drunk friends. So let's see. Pictures. Here we go. The good thing is they made some purchases, so that bumped us up there. All right, there's picture number 2 again. Lori Ladd. Yes. Hit him with the 777s. So pick number 2. There's the subject. Feel free to do what you need to do. Heck, I guess at this point you could take a screenshot and really zoom in. But even with the pictures that he sent me, I zoom in and it's really hard to tell. It's just completely black. So there's no, I didn't notice a beak or anything else, any plumage. But it does look bird-like to me. But then I could see it does look very human-like also. It's a tough one. If it was a large bird, assuming departed low on the far side of the mound, the direction it is facing. So if it was a large bird, assuming the departed low on the far side of the mound, the direction it was facing. Okay. Again, also, I want to remind you all that later today over on Midwest Night Watchers, yeah, they're having Pops on there. Pops is going to be on. He claims to have a 16-foot Sasquatch. I believe they're friends and all that. So yeah, I've heard his story before. Makes me wonder. Makes me wonder. I question it. Is it really real? And he did share some pictures. I was a little on the pictures too. It's tough. It's like this one, it's tough to tell. And but he's awesome guy, great moderator, and very active in the YouTube streets. And yeah, so I'll be checking that out. Maybe set your notifications later, folks. And then also over at Sasquatch Secrets, yeah, Nikki Cologne is going to be on today. And I don't know, it's titled something Bigfoot Banter. So I don't know if she's having the boys from uh up east, over on the East Coast. What is it? Bigfoot Banter, Bigfoot Banter. And I know he's been doing his rounds and doing his thing. So I don't know if they're having him on or that's just the title of the show. But anyway, I will catch you there as well. So that's at 4 p.m. I believe, and Midwest Night Watchers is at 3. So I'll be surfing around. And Juliana says, let's see, I'll send. Well, the Nighthawk is saying, I'll send the picture of it to you, BD. Text message, okay? Yeah, you can send me text messages. I just got home from Jasper Bigfoot Jamboree, met Ron Moorhead and Flash of Beauty crew, among other. Great time. Cool. Sounds super fun. It had an exit that would have kept it out of view, says Juliana. I think she's referring to the subject here. Bigfoot Banter with Richie B. Thank you, William Nighthawk. Yeah, Nighthawk's been doing a lot of shows with everybody too. All right, we hit the hour. That's cool. Got to hang out with you all for a little bit. Got some Bigfoot reports in. What's up? See some customers walking by outside. Yeah, y'all be safe out there. And I hope to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. Come hang out with us. And Tristan, yeah, he's, I have not met him in person, but I just have a good feeling about him. I've always talked really good about Tristan, and I know he has the goods, and I know, yeah, he's one of those real deal cats. I feel it. So it should be a good show. And I will see you then, unless we get a speed chase tonight. We did get a report of a speed chase earlier, but since it's Sunday, probably not being broadcasted. But yeah, much love to you, Nighthawk, and everybody else. Juliana, Big Hearts, Lori Ladd, and everyone else watching this later. Peace out, y'all. Oh, yeah, let's put up, yeah, broadcasting from 3925 East Olympic Boulevard. Sky's the limit. Smoke Shop. Where are you? There you are. Yeah, tap in with us, folks. Boom. And thank you again to SoCal Squatcher for letting me share those pictures. And we are out. Oh, you gotta hit play, bro. Jeez.